When you begin to work extensively with objects in a publication, for example, this project here where we're drawing a map on our garage sale sign, it's going to be important to remember the order that things get brought into the publication or drawn or created on the page, because when they overlap one another, you want to be able to see all of the information you need to see. So for example, if we wanted to name our lake here, and maybe we want to put the number 5858 inside the starburst and leave the rest of the address out to the side. Let's say we want to do that. Well, we'll open up another publication that's been started for you. So click the Open button, navigate to the Lesson 6 folder of your exercise files, and double-click Sign 6C. Double-clicking it or clicking once, and then the Open button brings it up on screen. Alright, so here it looks okay. You can see we've named our lake. We've got a text box here, South Point Lake, sitting on top of the lake. At least that's how it appears, but our lake doesn't have a fill. So if we click on the lake and we fill it up with a nice blue color, we'll click the fill drop down, and let's just choose a nice fairly dark blue. Well, you can see I'm seeing part of my text box, and if I deselect, it's not really showing up properly, is it? Publisher's trying to do something here. It's trying to make it so that we can see our text box and rearrange things for us. But if we click right on the lake itself and we want to move it in behind our text box, we can do that by going to the Arrange menu. So go up to Arrange, come down to Order, and let's send it to the back. Now we have Send Backward, which will send it back one layer at a time. So each of these items on our page, each of these objects, is on its own so-called layer. Now they're all together on the page, but they're there in the order that they were created. So if we go to Send to Back, we know that the lake is going to go right to the back. Give it a click, and now you can see our text showing up on top of the lake. Now, because it's a dark blue, I might want to change the text itself, so I'm going to click inside the text box, something I couldn't do until the lake was in behind the text, and I'm going to change my font color up here to white. So I can click the drop down if white is not the current color and select it from here. I deselect by clicking outside the selected object to see the end result. Excellent. Alright, how about this over here? We want 5858 showing up inside the starburst. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click down here and I'm going to take out the 5858 and I'm going to move my text box up here next to the starburst. And the starburst is going to need to get a little bit bigger, so I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag the corners down here, make it nice and big, and in there's where I want to type in 5858. Okay. So if I go to my text box icon over here in my Objects toolbar, click over here and type in 5858, you can see it's quite tiny. Just size the box down a little bit. I'm going to go inside, select 5858, and just bump that up to about, we'll try 11 points. How about a little bit bigger, 12. There we go. And now I'm going to move that inside my starburst. Now I'm going to close this up. I don't need the full width. And with the four-sided arrow, click and drag right here on top of the starburst and deselect by clicking. So because I created the 5858 after the starburst, no problem. It shows up right here on top. Now if I wanted to, I could move these around so that they're layered in different ways so that they do overlap one another. For example, if I click on the garage sale text box here and I drag it down on top of my map ever so slightly, you can see the map is showing up on top of my sign. Well, I don't really want that, so I bring this text box to the very front. So again, I go to Arrange, Order, and bring to front. Right away you can see now the map is in behind. So I can move that back, and now I know that if I extend this line by clicking it and dragging it up into my text box and release, it's not going to overlap my text at all. It stays in behind. So keep in mind that you do have an order. The order that you add things to the page or draw them yourself is the order that they appear, but you can always rearrange that order from up here on the Arrange menu.